So, as with most professional mid-tier professional firms, I actually wear two hats within the organisation. I'm a partner, a client partner, first and foremost. So I actually am responsible for a portfolio of professional services firms, and therefore delighted to be involved in this project to really help understand the impact that it can have on my clients. But as Richard has already explained, I'm also head of digital transformation for our firm, which involves both working on the firm, as in looking at our own processes and how we can digitally transform them, but also on our clients as well. And I want to talk about technology and its deployment and how using a framework like this that has been designed, how can it make that technology resonate a lot more deeply? So I think if I sort of go back to 10 years or so ago when I was involved in software deployment projects, typically the way that might look would be that a problem was identified for the organisation and we might Google a solution, we might speak to our colleagues, see if anyone was aware of a potential solution to that problem. We might explore our professional network and try and identify other solutions that are out there. We'd probably then email a bunch of consultants or resellers or go directly to software providers and ask for a number of different demos. We'd then obviously evaluate those demonstrations against our budget, probably first and foremost, and obviously an element of functionality. We'd then probably think about the project and think about what those potential solutions could offer. We'd then probably think about it a bit more because we're naturally risk adverse, so it's going to take us a bit longer to reach those conclusions. And then in the meantime, probably one of the resellers or consultants who hadn't quite hit their target at that particular time might come back with an offer that was too good to be refused, and we might go for that solution because there wasn't much to choose between them. And for a very narrow technology problem, that still might get you the right answer. You know, there still might be that sort of approach to buying software and technology that works. And that whole approach also assumed that we understood the problem we're trying to solve. I think quite often as well, there's been other projects that I've been involved in that are driven by a sort of desire to keep up with the Joneses, in effect. So looking at technology that our competitors are using and thinking, well, hang on a minute, are we missing out on something? Do we need to explore this opportunity? Again, not necessarily a terrible approach, providing it is a narrow problem. But where we are now and the pressures that are being applied on our respective professions, both regulatory pressures, the productivity gap that is developing, and all of those other external pressures that are being applied to our businesses, is that we have to think much wider about our problems and not take those narrow approaches. And this framework really gives us that ability to do so. I'm right in the middle of a current project where we are using the framework that has been developed exactly within our organisation. And the reason for doing that is it is a wide business problem. We have a specific service line that is a significant service line for our business. And the technology might be part of the answer to how we reimagine that service line, but it certainly isn't all of the answer. And in order to really make this project successful and get the return on investment that we need, a huge part of it is going to be the change management aspects. And again, this project gives you a proper framework to tick off all of those change management things that we all know are really important when carrying on a project like this. But quite often we sort of pay some attention, a bit of lip service to them, but we don't think about them actively and build them into the project framework. So things I'm talking about is an awareness of the need to change. That scenario planning doesn't just look at the awareness and the need to change now and solve a particular problem. It forces you to look much further into the future, such that that change piece will actually future-proof your organisation as well. And the desire to participate and support that change again, by going through the framework and engaging the right people, you're bringing them on that journey, and you're forcing that change management aspect. The knowledge on how to change as well. It's important, again, that technologists are part of the solution, but not all of the solution. So we engage them as we need them, but it's important that it's just not narrowed down to that aspect only. The ability to implement the required sort of skills and behaviours and the reinforcement to sustain the change, this whole part of the framework is around developing the right skills, and other speakers will carry on and talk about all those aspects too. But if we didn't apply this particular framework to the project that we are currently undertaking, then what we could end up with is narrow pieces of technology that solve part of the problem, but a solution that is not future-proof, does not give us the ability to evolve the process, does not give us the agility to react to any future changes, because maybe the scenario that we imagined needs tweaking as well. And just generally will mean that the project will not resonate as deeply, and therefore we will not get the return on investment that we need. So those are my experiences. As I say, we do go through digital transformation with our clients, and will facilitate these type workshops for them. So I can totally attest to the benefit that they bring, and that sort of fundamental change in the way people engage and look at their business and its future applications.